Ladies and gentlemen, OTAs week 1 officially commences. We've got news, notes, things you need to know about the beginning of your OTAs. Tune in. Let's get this thing going. It's Buffalo Fanatics. It's the Rico Report. Let's go. Folks, welcome back to an edition of the Rico Report. I feel like it's been a minute since we've had a chance to solo dolo talk it out because I've been doing my thing with my guy, my brother Z-Bot, every Thursday or Friday, whichever one that works out for us schedule-wise, but we always bring a little something to you every one of them days. So, folks, welcome tuning in to the Rico Report. Appreciate y'all. And let's get right to it, people, because we officially have the whole team together for OTAs. And I know that people have been waiting for this. There's been anticipation for Josh Allen to get together with his new weapons. And lo and behold, some people looking good. I mean, it's OTAs, there's no pads, it's just shorts and t-shirts and getting to know things, and everything is just kind of getting in sync right now. You guys know how OTAs is. But in OTA news, there were 2 absences. How long those absences will last, that's a whole other ballgame. But Daquan Jones was a no-show, whether there was reason behind it. And Rasul Douglas, also a no-show. So question for the masses, question for Bills fans. Are y'all tripping because Rasul Douglas isn't in camp? Are you guys tripping because Daquan Jones isn't in camp? Or is it just no big deal? Oh, it's no big deal. So why were we making it a big deal about Stephon Diggs? You know what I mean? I didn't want to try to bring up Stephon Diggs, but I mean, shoot, you got to. I mean, it's the same thing as OTAs, right? Why aren't they there? Well, does it matter? Doesn't matter at this point. It's OTAs. It's just so funny. I find it, you know what's funny? You know what I mean? You know when you and your girl about to get into an argument, and they always say, I was thinking, or you know what's funny? Well, you know what, folks? You know what's funny, folks? It's not that big a deal. You can tell because nobody's making an uproar about Daquan Jones nor Rasul Douglas coming to camp. It's no big deal because it's OTAs. It's voluntary. You don't really got to be there. Work out, and when it's time to be there, when it's mandatory to be there, we show up and get out. It's just we choose where to put our anger. I just find that comical, but nonetheless, great turnout. Those are the only 2 that didn't show up, but everybody else was there. And you always want to hear that. You always want to hear key pieces to the team being present, being there, and getting this thing going. So I'm actually really excited about it. Like my man Tom Slade said, "Hey man, 89 of 91 players together technically. You got it, buddy. You got it, my man." So yeah, I mean, I ain't tripping. I like it. I'm on board with if you show up, if you don't. I mean, would I like all the guys to show up? Yes, of course you would. But it really isn't that big a deal because these guys could show up sometime this week. 2 days from now, they all could be there, and kumbaya, we're all back to normal chatter, normal Bills chatter. But news and notes for those that are, and listen, for those tuning in for the first time, or you haven't tuned in for a long time, yo, smash that like. Shout out to y'all for tuning in. Shout out to the Bing Squad for always being available to tune in and chat some football with your boy. And we've got a lot of listeners, a lot of viewers that are out of town, that are in foreign countries and foreign land, and not able to, tune into, the stuff that is on TV, on radio, for, the locals that live in Buffalo or around, right? I live in Canada, so it's a little different for me, right? So this is an area for everybody to come in and kind of, all right, update me. What's going on? Talk to me. What's happening? What are the news and notes that we should know about? So let me break a little something down to y'all so you kind of have an idea of what took place in today's OTAs, what people were noticing, little things like that. So first things first, McDermott, obviously he had a little presser. Nothing really too alarming. He was just pretty much saying, how excited he is for, guys to get back out. He was talking on Keon Coleman and and this is what I loved hearing from McDermott when it came to speaking on Keon Coleman. He says, listen, aside from the happy-go-lucky, fun-loving kid that, everybody's falling in love with, because in hindsight, everybody's loving what he's doing. I mean, just this week, this past week, excuse me, they were at the rookie, I guess the rookie premiere, where all the rookies, I guess they signed their NFLPA contracts, so now they can have jerseys and all that stuff, the likeness and all that good stuff put out there for the NFLPA. Anyway, shout out to Leslie Ann, one of the founders of Bills Mafia. So she pointed out that I guess there was a young boy, I believe, sent a letter and created 2 bracelets. And I think that was actually pretty sweet, because I got 2 daughters, and one of them is really into making bracelets. So I know that would have made her day if someone that she looked up to wore a bracelet of hers. But anyway, Keon Coleman, being the stand-up kid that he is, only 20 years old, man. That's a good kid, man. That brother said, you know what? Read your letter. And not only did I read your letter, I'm about to rock the bracelet you made me, and I'm going to take photos that are probably going to be, on the internet for good. I mean, listen, you saw it, and he's got these. He's sporting it. He's sporting those bracelets that this young boy, I think this young boy created for him. So, dude, very, very cool of Keon Coleman to do that. So he's winning folks over just being himself, which I love. So back to McDermott chatter. So McDermott was like, listen, other than the happy-go-lucky, I mean, you love to see what he's doing, but this guy, when he comes to the field, he's coming prepared. He's coming to win. He's coming to pretty much handle business. So, I mean, he says he seems like a focused young man is what the notes came with, and he's wanting to help the team. That's the biggest thing, man. And I guess there was like a rookie. I guess I don't want to call it the rookie symposium. I think it's the rookie symposium, but they had Jay-Z chatting with the guys. I think Ruben, I think his name is Mr. Ruben, that owns the Fanatics. And of course you have Tom Brady. And Tom Brady was out there telling these guys, listen, man, you have some of these rookies that come out here and it's about me. You know what I'm saying? And that's cool. You could be a me guy and be a superstar, but are you a champion? Are you a winner? And you don't got to say a whole lot when you hear Tom Brady saying you could be a star all you want, but are you winning? Are you a champ? Because at the end of the day, you got to win. That's why you come to the league. You come to the league to help a franchise win. So this brother right here, Tom Brady, was kind of saying, listen, man, this is the way things are going to be. So if you want to be that dude and you want to be able to me guy, you could be the me guy. You could be the star, but you ain't going to get shit to go with it. And it really plays into what Keon is doing right now. My man said, yeah, it's about the team. It's not about me. And I'm ready to focus and get these things going, right? So, he says he's seen the more serious side of him than the playful media side. So that's really cool. So coach is like, okay, you can distinguish between the two. You can put the hat on of the happy-go-lucky kid, but when you within the white lines, you're on that field, let's go. It's go time. And you love to see those things. So you love to see those things. So big shout out to McDermott. Big shout out to the squad. And McDermott's got a heck of a year ahead of him. He spoke on who's going to be calling plays. And if you were to guess, and I'm going to put this out in the chat. And 2 things. If you were to guess who calls plays this year, does McDermott relinquish his play calling duties and hand them over to Bobby Babich? Or is he just going to hold on to it and say, you know what? I'm holding on to this play calling duties. Let me do what I do. If you were to take a guess, what does McDermott do? Does he relinquish? Does he give up his play calling duties to the newly appointed defensive coordinator? And my thoughts in this regard, if it's a trend, if it's where I think it could be going, obviously they brought in Perry, the former official, now part of the Bills. So he's going to be pretty much the liaison to, all right, that's a flag. Do this, do that. This is key, because if you bring a guy like that in, that means McDermott doesn't have to make those decisions. Leave that up to the newly appointed I guess, league official that's now retired and now part of the Bills organization. Leave that to him. Let him do what he's got to do, and then the rest of it we'll handle. So at the end of the day, what it comes down to is, does McDermott keep giving away duties in order for him to be the head coach, where he can oversee all and not have to pigeonhole himself to all the other things that surround the team, plus play calling duties? So does he remove himself from doing those things, or does he love it enough? Does he not want to relinquish it? Is he not there yet? So I'm interested to see how he does it. Bill W says maybe co-defensive coordinators. I mean, at the end of the day, there's one defensive coordinator. There's no co-defensive coordinators. Now, play calling duties is a different ball game. I don't know. I'm still up in the air on what he does. I don't think it's an ego thing for him. I think I still love calling plays. I wasn't doing it at the beginning. Now that I'm back to doing it, I want to remain there. Right? Leslie Frazier was the one calling plays earlier in their tenure together. And then when Leslie Frazier left, he said, okay, I'm back to calling duties. I'm back to calling plays. So does he love it enough to give it back up? That's the real question. So I guess we're going to see. We'll see how this all plays out. Mountain Man, what's up? McDermott, defense play caller. McDermott is the defensive play caller. I mean, he was last year. Question is, will he give it up this year? That is the question. Maggie says, I don't think Bobby would have stayed if he wasn't calling the plays. That's a good point. But Bobby was given the ultimate DC title, because that's what you want, right? If you have, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? If you inspire to be a head coach at one point, you've got to move up the rankings, right? To go from a position coach, it's tough to go from position coach to a head coach. I mean, to knowledge, I don't know many that's been done that way, where a receiver coach goes right to head coach, or a D line coach goes to head coach. Maybe I'm completely wrong. But you got to move up the rankings, right? So from positional coach to coordinator, then from coordinator to head coach, and you got to move up the ranks. That's just the way things play out. So Bobby Babbage has earned his way to defensive coordinator, and listen, if things work out the way it's supposed to work out, he becomes a head coach at some time. Late down the season. Now, if things absolutely fall apart and McDermott he's just falling apart and it's just not that guy, maybe there's a transition. But we're not trying to get there. We're not trying to get there. We want success all over the place. So play calling duties, does he relinquish them? Does he hold on to them? We will soon find out. He says he'll make decision in that regard at a later date. Actually, let me get the quote of what he actually said when it comes to relinquishing those duties. Where are my notes here? Yes, he's at a later time, and at the later time this offseason, that's when he's going to decide whether he decides to give up that position of play calling duty. So we'll see. My man Walter says, I choose option 3. It doesn't matter because it's Sean's defense regardless. It's no different than Andy Reid. It's Andy Reid's offense regardless of how you want to look at it. Whether you had Eric Bieniemy calling plays or Nagy, whoever was underneath him calling plays, it's really Andy Reid's offense. And that was the whole rumblings behind Eric Bieniemy calling plays. Is it really Eric Bieniemy calling plays, or is it Andy Reid? Okay, well, let's send Eric Bieniemy to Washington. Let's see how they do. Started off pretty good and then fizzled out. I mean, to this day, I don't even know where Eric Bieniemy is right now. Is he jobless right now, or did he take a job collegiately? Did he go back to college? I'm not even sure. So it goes to show you how these things can move quite quickly. So anyway, that being said, more notes on the news for OTAs. Spencer Brown had off-season surgery on the shoulder, so he's out for now. So better now than later. So get that thing sorted out, because you had a very solid year last year. You went from being a potential liability where folks were like, I don't know about this Spencer Brown guy. Drafted him in the 3rd round, 6'8", Northern Iowa. Okay, let's see what he's got. Back issues. And I'll give Brandon Beane this. Brandon Beane was all about, I don't want to say protecting him, but he was, give him some grace a little bit, man. He was dealing with some back issues. And for someone that is familiar with back issues, that could render you useless. If you have a pinch in your back, your lower back, especially where you get to catch where you lower at one point, it's like eat, and it gets you. It's not fun. So imagine trying to get down a 3-point stance. You mean anchor down? You got a 300-pound man coming at you violently. So you've got to get yourself correct. And the fact of the matter is this: he did, and he really showed what kind of player he was last year. I mean, you saw it. Josh Allen was the least sacked player. One of the least sacked players. He had like 24 sacks. That's one of the best in the league last year. Kudos to the offensive line, and kudos obviously to Josh Allen being very elusive in the pocket. Very good pocket presence. So that being said, big shout out to our guy Spencer Brown, kind of getting his shoulder right, and I can't see him being out too long. I'm sure he'll be back in no time, and we'll get this team back into contention and doing what he's got to do. Yep. Yeah, Rico, you're right. I think he went back to you. There you go. He's back in UCLA. So he went from being on a championship team, and not that there's anything wrong with that. Sometimes you got to take a step back to take a step forward. But Eric Bieniemy went from offensive coordinator, taking head coaching gigs, to now an offensive coordinator for the Washington Commanders. Now he is the offensive coordinator for UCLA. So maybe he will get his shot as a head coach maybe next year. We'll see. We shall soon see. So thank you for that, Walter. So let's keep it rolling here. Let's see where my notes take me here. So yes, like I said, Sean won't make a decision till the middle of training camp. I got my notes. He won't make a decision till middle of training camp on who calls the defensive plays. So I guess Babbage has time to make an impression on not only the defense, make an impression on his head coach, his GM, his colleagues, and if McDermott truly finds there's a trust factor in there where I can give you this baby, go ahead and take it. So we'll see. We shall soon see. Guess who impressed listen, according to the coach and according to, people that are talking, Chase Claypool, he's getting some applause from from people around Buffalo and people that were watching him and looking how good he looked. So kudos. I'm actually excited to hear that. I really am, because there's nothing better than a redemption story, a comeback story where you start off real great and then you fall on your face. Now you're humbled, and now you got no choice but to try to fix your ways. And obviously the hourglass has been flipped. So right now you're looking at the sand just funnel through that middle part of that hourglass, and there's a lot of sand left. You can allow the sand to stay there, or you can widen that little skinny part of the hourglass and let that sand fall through because of your inability to catch on the offense, your attitude, anything under the sun that will cause you to not make a roster. You don't got many chances left right now. Youth is on your side. Your upside is your size and your speed. But I don't want to say the jig is up, but people know what's going on. They talk, the league officials talk. GMs talk to one another, coaches talk. So you have an opportunity right now to really make something of yourself in Buffalo, especially because there ain't no alpha dog in that room right now. As of right now, the alpha dog is gone, and that was Stephon Diggs. So now you have an ability to form a relationship with your quarterback, to form some chemistry, gain some chemistry with your guy, and we'll see how that plays out. My man Jeff King says, I hope Chase takes this opportunity and runs with it and not pull an AB. This is the thing. I don't think he does that, man. I think he really comes in and really likes to, at the end of the day, really likes to, he's going to have no choice to be on his P's and Q's and handle his business, right? What's the real one saying? I feel like Rico used to remind the teacher, I forgot to collect the homework. Teacher, you didn't collect the homework. Can you? Never that, my friend. I was never that. I was the guy that was like, yo, shut your ass up. We could get out there letting us out for recess early. Just be quiet. But you forgot to make us read this. No, man. Rico was definitely not that student in class. I can tell you that for one thing. But Chase Claypool is making some early noise. Now, what does it mean in OTAs? Not a whole damn thing. It means bullshit, because you already know. There's been some guys that made some noise in OTAs. There's been some guys that made some noise in training camp. You guys know the drill. We've been there. I've been there. My guy that I was like rooting for heavy and I was like campaigning, if you guys remember, was Duke Williams. the CFL, the former CFL receiver. I like Duke. Duke was the dude that I was rooting for heavy, and he had some really good moments in the games that he was in, but it just never panned out, right? But I was campaigning for Duke Williams, and he had his moments, but didn't fully take advantage. So I've now learned to temper myself with expectations with certain players, but you already know what time it is. There's always going to be one, sweetheart on the team, off-season sweetheart, we'll call him. There's always one or two off-season sweethearts where we're like, yo, I want that guy to make this team. But then when you really look at the big picture, you're like, but where do you fit this player? You're going to put that player over him because he's impressed you, over this offseason and preseason. It's one of those things where you got to now allow the coaches to do what they do, right? But seize the opportunity. That's what you got to do. That's what the name of the game is. You got to seize your opportunity in the NFL because you don't know when you have your opportunity, you have your chance. So there's quite a few players that are going to be doing that. But I got a couple clips I want to play for y'all from OTAs. Give you guys a little eye candy. So we had Josh Allen out with his boys, and he was throwing the pigskin a little bit. So here's clip number one to give you a little heads up on what it was looking like in OTAs starting this week. It's early. These guys are starting to they're just getting used to it. I mean, I can't stress enough how early this is. This really doesn't mean a whole lot, folks. It really doesn't. But we're here now. We are here. So, folks, we are 20 minutes in. If you guys are tuning in and getting into the room right now, do me a favor, smash that like. If you have not subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel, because I'm gonna tell you right now, once the season starts, it's on and popping. You know how we get down, man. It's gonna be fun. Post games are gonna be great. Monday night shows after the game are gonna be amazing with my man Zebot. Then I come in on a Tuesday. We talk about the injuries with my guy Thigh Doc. We get it all, and we might be expanding the team sometime soon. So keep an eye on that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, let's keep it pushing, folks. That being said, so we got obviously Chase Claypool's making some noise. I mean, it's early, so who knows what that means? He could come in tomorrow and shit the bed. You know what I mean? It's you got to stack your days, stack performances, and that's how you can kind of make your squad, right? Let's keep it rolling here. Let's see here. Chase Claypool, we good with that. Mike Edwards, safety Mike Edwards, former Chief safety, is dealing with a shoulder injury, could be out the next 3 to 4 weeks. So you know what that means. When injuries happen, it opens the door for opportunity. And folks, let me tell you, man, when opportunity presents itself, you gotta hug that, hold on to that, and take full advantage of this opportunity. So Cole Bishop has a big time opportunity to really step up and take advantage of the missing Mike Edwards. Mike Edwards out 3 to 4 weeks. You never know how that all plays out. Maybe his spot is locked in, but when you draft a guy early enough like Cole Bishop, hey, my guy, that's your second pick of this year's draft. So you open the door for that, brother, man. So you never know what happens. Maybe he comes in and he doesn't relinquish that spot. Doubt it happens, but stranger things have happened. So Mike Edwards out 3 to 4 weeks. So it gives an opportunity for these guys to jump in, but it's OTA, so it's early. So he has enough time to get back for training camp, and that's when things really pop off. So big shout out to Mike Edwards. And last but not least, obviously Von Miller returning at age 35. And he's part of my notes that I'm going to talk about. Who our eyes are on. So those are your OTA camp notes. If there's something that you feel that I've missed, go ahead and jump in there and let me know. But I want to clear some up for folks today. I got tagged today on Twitter. Actually, I got to get it right because I don't want to disrespect my guy. So my man Jordan, let me see where my man Jordan's at. Where Jordan at, man? I just gotta open my Twitter at so I can get this thing probably going here. So I got tagged today, and somebody misquoted me. I don't know where they got this. Jordan Weber, my man Jordan Weber tagged me today, right? And I guess on WGR today, I guess somebody by the name of Marvin called in, and I got half the clip. So I was like, all right, bet. Anyways, I got half the clip. Marvin called in and said, yo, man, there's a guy by the name of Rico that does draft analysis. I was like, all right. I mean, I did the draft show. I ain't no draft guru. Y'all heard me. I'm not no draft guru, but I mean, I do a couple homeworks here and there. But anyway, my man said, Rico said that Keon Coleman is Kevin Benjamin. I said, what? Time out. Never in my lifetime I said that. So I found that odd. So anyway, so he said that I said that, and then I guess the folks on WGR, Sal and I think this guy named Sneaky Joe, were discussing it, and you could tell they're going back and forth, like, okay, yeah. And I was like, bitch, I didn't say that shit. I did not say that shit. That's the furthest from the truth. I actually have been saying it's a lazy take to say that he is a Kelvin Benjamin. Not that Kelvin Benjamin was a bum when he entered the league, because Kelvin's first 2 years were fire. They're really good for first 2 years of a player. But this brother Marvin said Rico said that Kevin Benjamin is Keon Coleman. No, sir. That is incorrect. But anyway, so now it was considered a lazy take. Meanwhile, I'm the one saying it's a lazy take to say that. Anyway, it all got all messed up. And then my man Pierre came in and was like, yo, who said what? Who said what? Who's trying to fight with my guy? Anyway, that's my brother right there. So anyway, no, sir, I did not say that. But shout out to my man Marvin. At least he's a listener, or maybe he's listening to another black man named Rico. I have no idea. I don't know how many Ricos there are that do Bills content, but if there is another one, let me know. Point him out to me. Point him out to me. But big shout out to Marvin, because I guess he is a listener, but he may have, you know what I'm saying, misinterpreted what I was trying to say. But it all got sorted out. I think we all are in agreement that Keon Coleman is not a comparison to Kelvin Benjamin. He may have some traits of Kelvin Benjamin, where there's the big go up and get it type of receiver where you can box him out and all that good stuff. Cool. But to say they are the same receiver, that is incorrect. My man Walter says, yeah, I heard Rico, and I cringed when I heard him butcher your opinion. My gosh. I'm like, yo, somebody help me. Yo, you can't be doing that stuff, man. You can't be putting my stuff on American radio. Now you got Rico associated with lazy takes. That's for damn sure. I mean, you can call me a whole lot of things, but don't call me no lazy taker. I don't do no lazy takes. I'll tell you that much. I might be controversial. Controversial takes, but lazy, no, sir. But anyway, big shout out to Sal. Big shout out to WGR. I don't listen to WGR. Obviously, I'm in a different country, so I don't really go out and listen to WGR. Not like that. But big shout out nonetheless. But a bigger shout out to my man, lazy take ass motherfucker. And here comes Pierre saying, hey, what you mean? What you mean about that? What you talk about that? But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Shout out to Big Marv. Shout out to everybody. Keon Coleman is going to be that dude, but I'm going to be clear right now. I just don't want people to put this brother on a pedestal like he's going to save the world. He's going to replace, you know what I'm saying, Stephon Diggs' performances, and he's going to give you stuff. Bro, I hope Bills fans are smart enough not to do that. Do not do that to this young man. Please don't. Let this guy develop. Let this guy do what he does. Let him have his ups and downs, because I feel he's going to. I think he will struggle his first year to kind of get going. I don't think he's going to give us the stuff that we anticipate he's going to give us. But that's just me. That is just me. So, but at the end of the day, I want success for the Bills. I want success for Keon Coleman. But I'm not ready to say, yo, he's going to save the day. This is going to be about Josh Allen connecting with those of Kincaid, Dawson Knox, James Cook, Khalil Shakir. I mean, the veteran guys, maybe MVS steps in, and then hopefully you sprinkle Keon Coleman in there and he finds his lane. Because it's all about finding your lane in this offense. If you can find your lane in this offense, major success is coming our way. It's when things are all discombobulated and distorted and nobody knows what, there's no identity. That's when there becomes a problem. And I'm hoping that we create ourselves an identity early enough this year, and I said this earlier in a tweet today. We didn't really have an identity last year. We were just all over the place, man. So I'm hoping that we find our identity, we lean into our identity. So where we are rocking, teams know what they're about to get. So once we get to the point where teams are figuring us out or trying to, we are so heavily into our identity that we can tweak. And you think we're going to do this, but we're going to do this and throw you off. That's what Tom Brady and the Belichick boys did forever. I mean, they was dink and dunk, dink and dunk, dink and dunk. All of a sudden, when you're like, we're gonna choke up on the defense, and we're not gonna let you dink and dunk. Here comes Tom Brady just dropping bombs on you for 450-yard game. So I'm hoping that we get to the point where Josh Allen just owns this offense and takes ownership of the lead dog on this roster, on this offense, and that way he's the guy that everybody goes to, and there's no mincing words, and there's no we're not sure and who. No, Josh is that dude. He now is like planted as that dude, and we hope that he leads us going forward. So that's what I'm looking forward to. We lead into what we got, and hopefully that works out for us. Honestly, I hope it does. My man Walter says, I feel like Drake London is a realistic comp that you don't see enough. Despite being considered the top pick, London had all the same questions, but didn't run a 40. Ooh, that's a good comp, though, because I don't see a lot of blazing speed by London. I don't want to call him a possession receiver either, because I don't think he's like a TJ Hushmanzada. But yeah, that's a really good comp, Walter. I like that. Actually, you got me wanting to know. Now go into film looking at Drake London. Not that I need to, but I think that'd be cool to kind of have an idea. But anyway, let's move on to the reason I brought you guys here. And for those that listen, you guys already know the drill, man. Smash that like while you guys are in here, and let's get to it on what I really brought you here. So it's all eyes on. All right, and we all have the people that we're going to be paying attention to. We have the people that where's my stuff at? Where's my banner at? There we go. We all have the people that we pay attention to. We all have the people that I'm looking forward to seeing. I'm sure you have people that you're looking forward to seeing. And those people, those players on this squad are going to be the reason we have success and the reason we fail. And right now, if you guys have looked up, if you guys are betting people, bro, Vegas has us at 10.5 wins this year. 10.5 wins. It's not a disrespect. It really isn't. But at the same time, I think we're better than that. Z-Bot and I last week, when the schedule came out, we did a schedule release party. I think it's hilarious when people are like, schedule release party, come on and show up. Anyway, we had a schedule release party, and Z-Bot and I went through the schedule. We won all the way through week 18, and we both came with the same result of 12-5. And at first I thought, are we being homerish? Are we being too much? Are we kind of not respecting the teams that we'll be playing? But then I realized who the hell we still got. We still got a top 3 quarterback. I'll be nice to say top 5, but I think you top 3. So like, how you gonna tell us we're gonna win 9 games, 10 games with Josh Allen at quarterback? Bruh, that shit don't work out. It's not like Josh Allen is a pocket quarterback and he relies only and solely on his arm. That brother does it all. He will run your ass over, he will hop over you, or he'll bombs away on your ass, or he can dissect you as well. So we've seen Josh be laser accurate. We've seen him turn into freaking monster and running the football. I mean, he's done it all, and he's done it all consistently since the beginning of his career. And he's only gotten better passing the football. So 12-5 is what I had the Bills. And I was actually listening to, I think it was Joe Marino I was listening to today. And I think he was talking about schedule on the Bleacher Report and what he anticipated the Bills record would be. And he came to the same conclusion of 12-5. And he had us losing to, I didn't see who he had us losing to, but I saw that he had 12-5. So I'm like, okay, so there's other like-minded Bills fans that see it that way. There's some folks that don't feel that we're going to have a successful year. They have us at like 9 games. maybe, and just getting to 9 games because they feel that this schedule is so damn tough. Listen, just a couple years ago, we were talking about how hard this schedule is going to be and this, that, and the third. We thought the Denver Broncos were going to absolutely be a monster team, and you already saw the result, and you already know where Russell Wilson is now. So that goes to tell you, listen, don't believe all the hype. Don't believe all the stuff that's on paper. You know what I'm saying? And and just don't fall for that. My man P Money says, yo, Josh is winning 10.5 games by himself. So put some respect on my guy's name. So that being said, let's get into all eyes on who, and let's get into the first little bit. So let me set myself up here and let me get into my notes on who I have my eyes on and who I'll be paying attention to, because I think it's crucial that we understand where are we at? I think it's crucial that we understand the limitations this team has, who's going to step up, who we anticipate to step up, and a whole lot of that. Okay, here we go. So first things first, the first guy that's on my list right now is Von Miller. Von Miller is the first guy that I have on my list. Von Miller, 35 years of age, essentially was relegated to, call him a bench player last year, call him a cheerleader, call him what the hell you want, but he was not Von Miller that we are accustomed to. He certainly was not. And Von Miller is somebody that I'm going to be paying attention to this year because, folks, we paid that brother a lot of money. We paid him a lot of money. He obviously took a pay cut because I'm sure the conversation that was had with Mr. Von Miller was, listen, bro, we love you. We know what you've done for this league. We know that you're a future Hall of Famer. You're that dude. I don't want to put you out on the street. And I'm paraphrasing here, by the way. I don't want to put you out on the street. But I also respect your game, respect what you've done for the game, and I need something from you. So paying attention to PFF grades, and I'm going to stick to PFF grades. In 2023, he had an overall grade of 45.4. In run defense, 45.6. In pass rush, 48.9. That ain't gonna cut it. That brother had 3 solo tackles last year. He had 1 defensive stop. He had 10 hurries, 3 hits, and 13 total pressures. It ain't gonna cut it. He had 179 pass rush. Yeah, thank you very much. I asked my wife for a cup of water, and she I love that lady. Love you. Anyway, you got me sipping out of straw. Anyway, so yeah, for real, very masculine to me. Sit back at a little guy should hold it like this. Anyway, so bruh, we can't have that version of Von Miller. I don't want that shit. Yo, get that shit out of here. You know what I'm saying? So we brought you back anticipating that this was an anomaly because you're shaking the rust off of your knee injury. We get that part. But Von Miller needs to absolutely show up this year. Now, how much can you anticipate from a 35-year-old? A 35-year-old coming off a pretty nasty knee injury at that age. I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm gonna be real with you. I had to take my my car to the shop because it's kind of getting a little noisy. So I gotta get a new gasket. Replaced and so on and so forth. But anyway, the reason I bring this up is I'm close enough to my shop that I can walk there. So I got on the girls got a scooter that holds up a 250 pounds, right? So I'm like, okay, I got enough on this, right? So I get on that scooter. I don't have no bones about scooters. Electric scooters, I'm all for it. My wife will not allow me to have an electric scooter. She's like, we don't live in an area for you to just drive an electric scooter. I'll make it work. I mean, those electric scooters, I don't care how, those look badass to me, man. You just roll on that shit. But anyway, so I'm on this scooter, my girl's scooter, and I'm rolling. And I just happened to just kind of slow down, and I planted my foot. And I planted my foot, and I felt a little, I was like, oh shit. Had I been 10 years ago, I would have just bounced off that shit, right? And I bring this up because at 35, all that weight on you, and you're coming from a knee injury, every little thing you do is going to be magnified. They're going to be looking at you. You're not going to be the same player. So I'm just saying, like, we got to temper our expectations for our guy Von Miller, but at the same time, we also got to take the kid gloves off and say, "Fuck it, brother. You got to show me something. You got a whole lot of money coming your way, and you sitting here, you sitting here stealing money from us." And I'm a fan of Von Miller, but we need more from Von Miller. We need an absolute dog out of Von Miller. So if this is your last year, Von Miller, before you retire, go all out. You need to go all out, plant and go. And if it's meant that your rehab, trust your rehab team, trust yourself, trust your knee, and plan and go. You know what I'm saying? There's been a lot of successful defensive ends that have played long into, you know what I'm saying, long into their careers, right? 35, you're looking at near the end, but there have been some guys that have played into the age range that have done really good things in this league. So I need more from Von Miller. Now the kid gloves are off. Last year, we left the kid gloves on. We're like, yo, let's handle this guy properly. Okay, is he cool? All right. I mean, take away a couple reps from him. Fam, we need something from you. Now, the one thing I will say about Von Miller, though, is this. We brought Von Miller. When we initially brought Von Miller, we knew he was an older cat. We knew we paid him a lot of money, but I'll say this for myself. I'll speak for myself. The reason we brought in Von Miller was for the young guys to get the experience from him, right? He's got the pass rush summit that he does. So we're hoping that guys like Groot, Javon Solomon, we're hoping, AJ Epinesa, these guys have learned something from Von Miller. So when he's long gone from Buffalo, these guys, are handling business. So Javon Solomon that we just drafted, I'm hoping that he soaks up everything from this brother and he's able to get work done. Duke, Dwayne Carter, we hope that he soaks up everything from my guy Von Miller and he goes. And my man Fireball says, yo, bro, knock it off. He's washed. He's washed. I don't know if listen, to truly know if he's washed or not is if he fully lets himself go all out. That's the only way to really find out if somebody's really washed. If you just let go of your doubts, let go of your your insecurities and really just go out and play. And if you still can't live up to the hype and play with these boys, then all right, I get you. You're out of here. But that's not the case. I think we're going to find out where we're at with Von Miller. So if he gives me 10 sacks this year, 10 plus, bro, that's a hell of a season for a guy for Von Miller. So I'm hoping he stays from week 1 all the way to right into the playoffs so we can get this guy going. So I'm looking forward to it. So Von Miller is definitely a guy. That's the one guy that I have my eyes on. Von Miller. What are we going to get from you, Von? What are we going to get from Von Miller? So that's my guy. I'm going number 1, Von Miller. He's on my list. All right. Number 2, all eyes on. Before I go into my number 2, what does everybody else have as their people that they're paying attention to this year? All eyes are going to be on this player. Why is this player the guy that you'll be paying attention to? What do you feel this player is going to bring to the squad? You guys let me know. Let's get this thing popping. So next on my list, I was going to put it in order, but I'm not going to go in order. Let's go to the Linebacking Corp, right? And I will tell you this, man. Me and Zeba were sitting here last week, and we were talking about how excited we are. At least for me, I think we were both actually excited. And I'm geeked to have not only Terrell Bernard back, but Matt Milano together. Those two together. When I tell you how jacked I am to have these two guys back on the field together healthy, that this team looked so damn good last year with those two guys playing defense. It really pissed me off that we lost Matt Milano early in the season. So now we're having to depend on Terrell Bernard, and he stepped his game up like you would not believe in this McDermott defense. Loved every bit of what this guy was able to do. But I bring the linebacking core up, not for Bernard, not for Matt Milano, but for the depth of this linebacking crew. Don't forget, we brought in Nicholas Morrow. I don't know how he pronounces it, but Nicholas Morrow. I'll say Morrow. Nicholas Morrow from the former Eagles player, linebacker. So if you guys forgot about the addition of Mr. Nicholas Morrow, let me remind you. So just this past season, he had 74 tackles, tied for 36th This is according to the PFF, by the way. He had 22 assisting tackles, tied for 54th. No interceptions, but he had two forced fumbles, tied for 5th in the league, right? Let me continue. So his overall grade was a 71.5. His run defense was 75.6. His pass rush was 81.1. And his coverage grade was 62.6. So not horrible. So we added great depth. But let me go further into the addition of Nicholas Morrow, right? I'm telling you, that pairing between Matt Milano and Bernard, I'm fucking jacked about that. I don't want to cuss today, but that actually has me the most excited about this team. I love the addition of what we added to the offensive side, but that defense, especially that linebacking crew, that's going to anchor it all. That's going to put everything all together. We've got great ability to get in coverage, and we've got great ability to mask and blitz. You know Matt Milano can blitz. He's a great blitzer. So you send that brother, and you let Bernard just sit and wait. Bro, listen, I'm excited. I get jacked up. So now add in Nicholas Morrow. You add in a Nicholas Morrow that has experience. He's been a green dot player. If you guys aren't familiar with a green dot players are those that are responsible for calling plays. So what does that do? That tells you the coach has a lot of trust in this individual. So he's capable, if something goes down, that we don't fall off. We don't have to go and call an AJ Klein. Do you think, seriously speaking, and this is clear as day as to why we invested a lot in the linebacking crew, do you think McDermott is sitting there going, golly, who do we got on the roster? We ain't got shit. Is AJ Klein available? Fuck, I don't want to call that guy. AJ Klein yearly. Hey, coach, you need me? I'll be on the way. Fuck. We're not trying to do that. So that's why, listen, coach and Brandon Bean were like, yo, we got to show up this opportunity to get somebody that if something does happen, we have a guy that can come right in there, is smart enough to take on the plays and call plays and lead this team. So with a grade of 71.5 overall, 75 against the run, 81 against pass rush, and 62 against the pass, I'll take that. This guy had 300 run defense snaps last year. So it's not like he was just a role player. Like, he had enough snaps. So I love what I see in the addition, of Nicholas Morrow. And he had a passer rating allowed on him of 116.1. I'd like it to be a little lower, but hey, what are you going to do? But that being said, love what I'm seeing from the addition of Nicholas Morrow. So that being said, I talked about the defense being what I'm most excited about. So let me get on to my next player, and that's Deion Jones. We just brought in Deion Jones, former Falcons linebacker. I mean, I can't remember where else he's played, but Deion Jones, yeah, Falcons, that's right. Deion Jones, former second rounder, 52nd overall pick, 6'1", 227. So he's a bit of a tweener. You know what I'm saying? He's that guy that you could put him at safe if you really want to, but he's more suited to play the linebacker role. So what I love about this pickup, I mean, if you remember Deion Jones back in the day, he was a stud. He was an absolute stud. Now he's a little older. You know what I mean? We get it. 29 years old, just shy of 30. He's going to be 30 in about 5 months, give or take. We gain a guy that is purely for depth. All right, this is pure depth. This is you bring a guy like this for the ability to mask, to kind of get exotic in your defenses. You don't know where you can put him anywhere. You want to put him on the inside. You want to put him on the outside. You want to put him at safety. He's got enough. He ran a 4.5 40, so he wasn't slow. But this is pure depth. Like I said, do you want to call AJ Klein, or do you want someone that's got a bit of athletic ability and that can kind of keep up with some guys in coverage? So this is what I like about this pickup here. So overall grade, PFF had him at 66, 43.8 against the run, 72 pass rush, and he's got 76.7 in coverage. So this is the type of player that we got in depth. Like I said, I will take him over the likes of AJ Klein. So that being said, to me, I'm looking at this linebacking core, the depth of the linebacking core. I didn't even tell you about Balen Spector. I didn't even tell you about Dorian Williams. So for me, I'm jacked up about the position group. This position group is solid. I'm thrilled about it. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going with these boys. So linebacker crew is the next crew that I'm looking at. All right, moving on to the next. We've got Sedrick Van Pran-Granger. He is the newly drafted guard. My man, what's my man Zach saying? Zach Barker says, Rico's bot joining you tonight. No, man, bot and I are probably going to do a show Thursday or Friday. We usually do our shows at the end of the week, but I've been slacking on my Tuesday shows, man. So I got to get back on and do my thing. But anyway, that being said, we're moving on to Sedrick Van. I keep messing this brother's name, man. Sedrick Van Pran-Granger. Here's the deal with this brother right here, man. I'm looking forward to seeing what he's able to do. But for the most part, I want to see how he adjusts to the speed of the game. If you remember Osiris Torrance came in and actually did a bang up job for the Bills. Just last year, I'm going to look up my man here. Just last year, Osiris Torrance, not a bad rookie year. Listen, offensive snaps played. He had 1,163 plays. That was second most. Okay. Penalties. He had 6 penalties last year. He's tied for 10th. Sacks allowed, 3. Tied for 30th. All right. Let's go to his 2023 player grades. So this is where, as a rookie, he had some pivotal moments and some good moments. And then he had some moments where, like, okay, but chalk it up to being a rookie. But altogether, he had a 56 overall grade. He had a 49.2 pass block grade, and he had a 59.6 run block grade. So that being said, what I love most about this, and it's not an Osiris Torrance, evaluation here. This is more showing you that he was able to keep up with the speed of the game. He played over 1,000 snaps, so he's gained a lot of experience. And pass block snaps last year, 695. Run block to 468. He had 6 penalties, like I said, 3 sacks allowed, 3 hits, and he allowed 40 total pressures. I look for those things to dissipate this year. And with the shuffle of the line, we got a more athletic center, obviously in Connor McGovern. So who knows how that all plays out? But I'm looking forward to seeing what Sedrick Van Pran-Granger comes in. 5th round draft pick, primarily plays the center position. So I'm not saying that he's going to unseat Connor McGovern, but it wouldn't shock me. I'm not saying that he's going to, because I think they want to give him a lot of experience. And a lot of guys that are drafted at center or they played primarily center, they usually find themselves playing a little bit of guard before they transition into playing center. So that being said, I kind of want to see how he adjusts to the speed of the game, because if he can adjust to the speed, he can adjust to what's being thrown at him all day. That's fantastic depth. I think that's one of the more sneaky draft signings that we've actually done this year. So Sedrick Van Pran, big things are coming his way. I mean, he's got a lot on his plate, and I'm looking forward to seeing him get his reps in at center and get his reps in at the guard position. I mean, listen, the line seems set. Obviously, McGovern taking over at center. Let me get my sip here. The line seems quite set on where they're at, with obviously Deion Dawkins and Spencer Brown. On the bookends, we'll sign Torrance, and then we've got Mr. David Edwards at guard alongside Connor McGovern. So things may shake up. We'll see how they all play out. So very much looking forward to seeing what we see out of Mr. Van Pran-Granger. I want to see this offseason how that all plays out. It's all about, can he adjust to the speed? He's gonna get his lumps and bruises. And if he's successful and he impresses, shoot, maybe we shake the lineup. You know, Coach McDermott always wants people to be able to play all over the place. Can you play guard? Can you play center? Can you move things around? And once those things happen, because I mean, knocking on wood, we hope nothing happens because we played a healthy football on offense. Let's keep it that way, but it doesn't hurt for everybody to kind of to be interchangeable, to move left, right, and get all over the place. So let's keep it going. You're an idiot. Let's keep it rolling. My man Walter says, I'd rather potentially struggle at one spot going with Granger than the alternative of struggling at 2 spots by moving McGovern. That's a good point. That is a good point. So that is something that the coaching staff is going to have to really acknowledge and kind of see where it all plays out. This is why you draft these players, see how they develop, and we keep it rolling. But that's a good point, though. You don't want to struggle at 2 places. If you can struggle at one spot and be strong at the others, you can work on developing that weak spot. But now you got to deal with 2 holes. If you move things around too much, I don't know if I'm interested in seeing that. So good point on that, my man Walter. So that's the guy that I want to see. I didn't have a whole lot to say, on this rookie. But I am really looking forward to seeing that play out. Let's move on to the next one. And that's Ray Davis, the addition of Ray Davis. You guys already know what time it is when I talk about Ray Davis. But here's the reason I bring up Ray Davis. Ray Davis's addition to this team, I could not be happier, because he brings the I guess Chris Johnson, not quite like this, but the Chris Johnson, Lendell White, combination. And I like Ty Johnson. Ty Johnson is going to get in the mix, but Ray Davis is polished. He's polished, man. He can run inside. He can run outside. He can catch the football. He is not afraid to stick his nose in the game and pass block. I'm going to tell you right now, as a running back, or if you want to get your money and get on the field, you've got to be able to protect your quarterback. And that is somewhere that James Cook, that's not his forte. Not saying that it's a weak spot, but it's not his forte. So this is where you'll have a guy like Ray Davis steal a couple reps in from James Cook because of that reason. And it's not like, well, he can't catch the football out of the backfield. Yes, the F he can. So he can do those things. So why I bring up Ray Davis is because I'm very much looking forward to the dynamic of this run game. The anticipated, I guess, transition into running the football a little bit more. I think I'm not saying we're going to be a heavy run-oriented team, but let's look at what we were able to do when Joe Brady took over as offensive coordinator. When he took over as offensive coordinator from Ken Dorsey, we weren't essentially running the football with effectiveness. We were running the football just to run the football. Does that make sense? Like, we have running backs, so I might as well just give them the football, right? It was the Josh Allen show, throwing the football left, right, center. Not that there was anything wrong with it. We were having success. We were doing what we need to do. But it comes to a point where there's no balance. There is no balance. There's no rhythm coming from our running backs back there. Getting 7 touches, 8 touches, 9 touches. Bro, we're playing 60 to 70 snaps a game, and I'm only getting 6 touches. Bro, that ain't going to work. I'm only getting 12 touches. That ain't going to work. So this is where you're going to have to, I don't want to use the word sacrifice, but you're going to have to, sacrifice throwing the football in order to gain an advantage running the football. And that way, when you run the football, guess what? It reopens up the passing lanes for guys like Curtis Samuel, for guys like Dalton Kincaid, et cetera, et cetera. So that being said, Ray Davis coming into the fold, I think this is great for this offense. I think it's great for him. And I think a lot of people are going to really enjoy watching Mr. Ray Davis run this football. But this dynamic of the run game, this is what I'm looking forward to. It's the thunder and lightning. I hate to even, that's cliche to do that, but it kind of gives you 2 angles. But the thing that I like most about it is if you see Ray Davis in the game, you're not saying, oh, they're running the football. You can't quite distinguish if we're running the football or not, because he can do both. He's definitely not a James Cook, but if you have him on the field, he's not a liability. And that's the thing that I'm looking forward to the most. So big shout out to Coach McDermott and obviously Brandon Beane believing in trying to grab a running back that's on there. Yes, he's a little older. I think he's like 24 right now. Will be 25. But you know what I mean? Use what you can out of these running backs. Apparently, these running backs are a dime a dozen, right? So you might as well use them up as best you can. And if it works out, you keep these guys for a long time. Why not? You got a 1-2 punch. You got to run the football in this game. You have to run the football. So you have the ability to do so now. So big shout out to what we were going to see with Ray Davis and James Cook alongside Ty Johnson. I'm looking forward to it very much so. So those are one of the notes. I just got a couple notes before I get out of here. Kaiir Elam. This is a big one. Let me get another sip here. I don't care if y'all want to make fun of me. Since when is it weird to drink water? How you gonna shame me for water drinking? You know what I'm saying? Like, don't drink out of a straw. What you want to drink out of my hand? Like, go sit on a cactus, man. You're not gonna shame me for drinking water. Let me take another sip just to spite y'all. Let me drink my water for myself. Anyway, Kaiir Elam. I'm looking forward to Kaiir Elam because here's the deal. Rasul Douglas, that's a lock on one side. Christian Benford has essentially locked himself on the other, which leaves Teron Johnson at the nickel and then Kaiir Elam as your third cornerback. Kaiir Elam is not a bad player. He's not a bad player. What he's going through, in my opinion, is this is all psychological. Obviously, he was dealing with a foot injury, so that kept him out. Obviously, you guys remember he was out for a little bit of last year. So that played a part in this whole situation. So if I go back to his PFF and what he's done last year, what he did last year, in limited play, he had 11 tackles, 13 targets. He had 13 targets thrown against him and allowed 10 receptions. All right? Do what you will with that information. His overall grade was 58.8 on a small sample size. His run defensive grade was 49. His pass rush, I mean, you're not going to pass rush, so I don't know why they have that, but 54.9. And his coverage grade was 61.3. All right? His passer rating allowed was 109.5. And yards per reception was 13.5. All right. So here's the thing. We absolutely, whether you want to call it a reach, whether you want to label him a bust, there were moments that Kaiir Elam came in huge just last year against the freaking Pittsburgh Steelers. He surprised me when he mirrored, I think who was a receiver in, I think it was Deontay Johnson. He mirrored Deontay Johnson on that corner and textbook undercuts it, interception by the end zone, pretty much sealing the game. Great. So you can see untapped potential. So I'm hoping that the new defensive coordinator, new DBs coach can tap into something out of Kaiir Elam. And I don't know if there's going to be any competition between Kaiir and Benford. But at one point, like, all eyes are going to be on him on what he's able to do. Can you compete? Can you show that you can still play? You know what I'm saying? Because right now you've let the 6th round draft pick from Villanova jump over you and take your spot. You got Rasul Douglas that's 30, take your spot. So how long is Rasul Douglas going to be with us? So are you ready to take over if Rasul, you know what I'm saying, says, you know what I mean, next couple years I'm out? Are you ready? But at that point, we got to make a decision on this, brother, man. So Kaiir Elam is an intriguing storyline. I'm still rooting for this man. I still like him. I'm still rooting for him. I think healthy, and it's all about being healthy. It's all about being healthy. If you are 100% healthy and you've had time to develop and you've had time to really learn from your errors and your mistakes, and you tap into your confidence, because I think it's a confidence thing. If you could really show how to be confident, bro, maybe he surprises us and he gets in on these dime packages and quarters packages, and we see him make big plays for us. You know McDermott's going to want to use him. So, shoot, let's go. Let's go, man. My man Walter says they don't fire the coach. He left. I think, okay, so you guys are talking within the chat. So that's my take on Elam. I'm not ready to give up on Elam just yet. I still have love for Elam. Former first rounder. Did we jump the gun? Maybe. But can we develop him that we're like, okay, well, we may have jumped the gun and it didn't pan out for us the first few, but we've got an opportunity here to really develop him. So let's go. Kair's got a grand opportunity. So I hope he takes full advantage of it and he gets himself on the field and can really kind of, you know what I mean, carve himself out a role. I really want him to do that. So let's see how that actually ends up playing out. All right. Last couple notes for me is the most obvious of all, and that's the receiving room. All eyes are going to be on the receiving room. All eyes are going to be on Keon Coleman. All eyes are going to be on Dalton Kincaid, right? All eyes are going to be on MVS, right? Scanlon, what is it? Marcus, what is it? Marcus Van Scanlon. We'll just call him Scanlon, right? All eyes are going to be on Curtis Samuel, Claypool, like the whole receiving crew. Like this is what's been talked about all off season. This is what's going to be continued to be talked about. OTAs, mini camp, then training camp, then preseason, then preseason, and then once the season finally begins. How this all plays out, we have no idea. We have no idea because right now it's open season. What I can tell you right now is your lock for this team is obviously Kaiir, Coleman, Curtis Samuel, and we'll say Mac Hollins. Okay, those I would say are your locks. And I'm iffy on Mac Hollins, right? But Mac Hollins, your lock. Special teams, he's able to do some special teams. So then you got Claypool and you got MVS. And then you've got Shavers. And then you've got Xavier Johnson. Whatever Xavier Johnson becomes, that's one dark horse that I have that could really make some. Remember, we were talking about sweethearts on the squad? This might be a sweetheart. Just saying. So this receiving crew is intriguing because that is what's shaping people's opinion on how well the Bills will do and how much success they'll have. Because they're not sure if the receiving crew is going to be good enough. You lost Gabe Davis. Okay. You lost Stephon Diggs. Understood. The last time I checked, I still got Kincaid. I still got James Cook. Oh, by the way, I still have Josh Allen. So what? Gabe Davis is going to make or break me? Cut it out. This brother had out of 18 games played, he had 5 of them with no receptions. That tells me non-existent. So I'm about to boo-hoo and cry because we're not sure how we're going to do. Well, go look at those games that he had no receptions. Did we win? Thank you very much. Let's keep it moving, right? Stephon Diggs, obviously it's a glaring hole. We're about to find out how we succeed without him. You notice how I said succeed? Because we will succeed. Why? Because we got 17. Why? Because Joe Brady is going to be in his second year and a half, I'll say, cooking things up, knowing that he doesn't have to really focus on getting the ball to Stephon Diggs. Oh, and let me remind you, going in the tail end of the season from weeks 10 to 17, 30 receptions, if I remember correctly. I'm trying to remember on the top of my head. 30 receptions for 262 yards. Do you know who those stat lines go to? Stephon Diggs. I'm not saying Stephon Diggs is a bum because he's not. I love Stephon Diggs. You already know that. I'm over my feelings now, but I was in my feelings when that brother took off. So that being said, we're still going to get busy. We're still going to get busy. We got busy with Joe Brady not targeting Stephon Diggs as much. His numbers were down. And guess what? We ripped off consecutive wins for us to win the freaking division. So all of a sudden, I'm about to get shook that we can't handle business without Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis. You want to talk about lazy take? There's your lazy take. The Bills are going to suck because they don't have Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis. Come on now. Don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. Because you know what? 17 is going to prove you wrong every single time. And the fact of the matter is, we were able to move the football. We were able to stack up W's without heavy numbers coming Stephon Diggs' way. Why? Because we were able to spread the football everywhere. But Rico, don't you realize that Stephon Diggs was taking a lot of the pressure off of all the other receivers, and that's why he had success? One can make that argument, and you're not wrong with that. That's why all eyes are going to be on this receiving crew. You see how I tied that shit all back together? All eyes are going to be on this receiving crew. You guys have big shoes to fill, right? And by name, you have big shoes to fill. Stephon Diggs is out the building. Gabe Davis is out the building. Them boys, they got paid. They got money. Are you trying to make your money? You know how you make your money? Success. You know how you make your money? Getting you with your quarterback and making sure you guys are on the same page and taking care of the opposition. That's how you do it. And it starts OTAs, mini camp, training camp. Build that chemistry and take that shit on to Arizona. Because you know them boys, they got nothing to lose. They're ready to go. They're going to try to come in Buffalo and stun the Bills. We can't let that shit happen. So that being said, that receiving crew is going to be is going to be heavily watched, heavily scrutinized until, you know what I mean, the guys start to play out. And I'm gonna, at some point this month, I'm gonna try to do a very, very early depth chart to see who makes the squad, who doesn't. It'll be fun. I'll let y'all know when I do it, and we go from there. Last but not least, before I get out of here, lazy take, right? Why is it popular, or why is it a thing to shame Justin Shorter? I can't understand this. How can you shame a player that didn't do anything? He wasn't able to showcase what he's able to do because he got hurt. But people are ready to call him a bum, and he ain't ish, and he's got no stat line. Only upside. 6'4", 220, ran a 4.5 40. 5th round draft pick. Let this brother have an opportunity to at least do something in camp. But it's like people are already kind of dismissing him. Like, okay, listen, MVS, veteran, success. He's done things. He's done great things in the playoffs, right? You got, Chase Claypool, you know what I'm saying? Early round draft pick, had success in the league in his first couple of years, has taken a fall a little bit. He's trying to get back together. We can understand why people will prop those guys up. But to absolutely dismiss Justin Shorter like he ain't going to do anything, and I'm not going to sit here and tell you he's going to kill the game, but I'm also not going to sit here and just dismiss him like he ain't shit. Give this guy an opportunity to kind of get his bearings right, build his chemistry with Josh, and maybe we get something out of the 6'5" receiver, right? Give him an opportunity. Golly, I think I've seen too often where people just say, no, he's not going to make the roster. And it very well could happen, but let it play out before we're ready to say you ain't making the roster because you ain't good enough. Listen, man, the fact of the matter is this: we lost 2 receivers that were, I guess, big chunks of this offense in Diggs and Davis, right? You saw it. Davis was very reliable, man. You could count on this guy to play all the time. 95 to 100% of snaps all game. So now those 2 guys have gone. So we're going to bring in as many receivers as possible to filter out the best. And maybe Justin Shorter comes out and he shows out that he can beat out Mac Hollins, right? Or he can beat out Chase Claypool. You don't know that. We don't. We got to let this shit play out, baby. We got to let this shit play out. Walter says the same way you can pump up Shorter, you can shame him. Let it play out. Because what do we have that we can shame him on? On what? When he played last year? What game did he play? And I'm not talking specifically to you, Walter, but what game could you say, ooh, that was a horrible game? You can't, because he didn't play. He was hurt. You know what I'm saying? So let this brother have an opportunity. Golly, man. Let this brother have an opportunity. So my man said, Rico, some Bills fans just goofy. Agree with you. Shorter needs a real opportunity. Let him have an opportunity, man. I'm not sitting here. I'm not using the pom-poms to go Shorter, go. Shoot, can we see some? Can we see some from the brother first? Because how many times have we kind of count somebody out and then all of a sudden they came out and ready to go? Let me give you some. Terrell Bernard. When Matt Milano went down, folks, we were like, yo, Terrell Bernard, we're fucked. We're screwed. And Terrell Bernard ended up being one of the fan favorites. So, you know how opportunity comes and you can serve your opportunity. And guess what? And here's the biggest thing. Terrell Bernard got hurt in the offseason. So he didn't even have an opportunity to play. Remember the offseason, he had a bummed ankle or something like that? He didn't have an opportunity. So we weren't even sure what we were going to get out of him. And then Milano goes down. So now, shoot, who do we got? And Terrell Bernard held it down. So I'm not saying that you're going to get that from Justin Shorter. All I'm saying is you can't count it out. That's all I'm saying. That's my take on Justin Shorter. It becomes too easy for folks to just say, nah, Justin Shorter's a bum. What? Show me the proof. Show me the proof, man. Oh, man. But anyway, that being said, that's what I wanted to get across. Folks, that is my time. I hope you guys appreciate the show. I hope you guys engaged. I hope you guys are, and I hope you guys continue to kind of show some love and come through and hang out with your boy. And if you enjoyed this show, you guys already know what time it is. Smash that like before you get out of here. I'm not a mathematician, folks. I'm not. I promise you I'm not. But I'm looking at the amount of likes that we have in this thing. I think we could do much better. So do me a favor. Smash that like. Hit that like. Subscribe if you have not subscribed. If you have not joined the Bing Squad, listen, everything that you need to know from merch to information about the BF, anything, it's www.supportbf.com. It's that simple. There's really no complications here, folks. Supportbf.com, as simple as that. Everything is right there. So, folks, have yourself a fantastic evening. We will catch you guys on the flip side. We'll see you sometime this week with my guy Z-Bot. It's probably going to be a Thursday show or a Friday show. We'll figure things out. And until next time, it's your boy Rico. It's the Buffalo Fanatics. And we'll catch you guys on the flip side, man. All eyes on the players this offseason. Who will impress? Who will shit the bed? And who will do things in between? That's kind of got you. OTAs is now. So let's find out how this all plays out. Folks, have yourself a great evening. And we'll catch you guys on the flip side. It's your boy Rico. And I'm gone. Let's go.